The DP bloc is the only political bloc with a viable plan to liberate Uganda. Naturally, we cannot share all the plans prematurely because a lot of the things are being done behind curtains. There are 3 pillars of our plan. We have a very clear objective, which is to take back our country from captivity. And that means we lead the struggle to wrest away political power from the Museveni dictatorship and the stranglehold of the NRM. The second pillar of our plan is the strategy. In one word, our strategy is unity. Unity will allow us to pool our resources in terms of money, time, and human resources. Unity will allow us to apply division of labor, and each party will be able to focus in the areas where it has the utmost strength. Unity will allow us to operate in harmony without competing against each other. That is our strategy, unity. Last Thursday, the line was drawn very clearly. And our message to all Ugandans is choose where you fall. Are you for unity or are you for division and fragmentation? It is a very clear line. The third component of our plan are the tactics. Now, tactics or tactical maneuvers are the activities that support the overall strategy of unity. I'm therefore pleased to announce that since yesterday, we have been in a retreat of the national leaders of the Democratic Party, key elected officials, including our members of parliament, the national leaders of the partners of the DP bloc, leaders from the PDP, leaders from SDP. I can see our sister Carol Kugonza has just joined us. She's the Secretary General of the PDP. We have nothing to defend. We have nothing to apologize for. All we have is a plan to share our vision of the new Uganda and to open the eyes of Ugandans about the reality in which we live, which reality is unacceptable. A divided country, an economy which is being looted. We have a lootocracy. We have got a constitution which has been dismembered. We have got a security apparatus which has been personalized, and a population of desperate, jobless, and disempowered people. We want to move from that condition to a Uganda which is united, developed, prosperous, and democratic and peaceful. Our strategy is intended to close the gap between the reality of today and the vision of tomorrow. Therefore, we have resolved that we are going to prepare and indeed we have prepared a discussion paper on a special purpose vehicle unifying all forces of change with the intention of overwhelming the regime in power. And even if they rig elections, we will have the leverage and the capacity and the masses behind us to effectively challenge that rigging. In Venezuela, the Speaker of the House of Representatives declared himself president and declared a sort of people's government in Venezuela. Now, that is meaningful because it has leverage and they have a strong stake in the institutions of government. In America, Nancy Pelosi leads a party which is controlling the House of Representatives. That is leverage. The opposition in Uganda must develop leverage. And the way to develop leverage is through unity. And unity is our main strategy. Unity of purpose, unity of strategy, unity of tactics. We are going to present that discussion paper. The discussion paper includes what we believe should be the program of action of a transitional government post-Museveni. The discussion paper will have our idea of a coalition, what we call the SPV, the Special Purpose Vehicle. We call it a Special Purpose Vehicle is because its role is to remove the obstacle to progress in Uganda, political, economic, and social progress. Social progress because we want Ugandans to feel one again. Not every part of Uganda being balkanized. Every community being proclaimed as a district. Traditional leaders popping up everywhere. So the social fabric of Uganda is being torn. Economically, because the economy of Uganda is in the hands of very few people. We need an inclusive economy. Politically, because the politics of Uganda has become a struggle for survival, not a competition to serve. This discussion paper will be presented to everybody, and I can name the people we have agreed to hold straight and open discussions with. We start with political parties. We will meet with the Forum for Democratic Change, and we should put all our cards on the table. We will meet with the Uganda People's Congress. We will meet with the Justice Forum. Fortunately, we are already moving together with Justice Forum, JEMA. We will meet with the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi, who is a popular independent member of parliament. We will meet with whatever remains of the Federal Alliance. We will meet with the People's Progressive Party and all formations. We will meet with civil society because we have a plan. And our call to everybody, respond to our ideas. Criticize our ideas. This is a debate about issues, not about personalities. Therefore, we have resolved not to be diverted to start discussing personalities. I know you are all here because, as usual, the media enjoys the ping pong. So-and-so has said this about you, What is your reply? I'm sorry to disappoint you. I am the master of replies and invectives. Unfortunately, I have better things to do. To those who have been making those attacks, We have identified people of their level who will respond to them. We have to rescue our country. If your house is burning and a rat jumps out of the flames, you don't chase the rat. You concentrate your energy in putting out the fire. So we are not going to chase rats that are fleeing the flames. We are going to focus on putting out the fire. That is our main focus. We consider all the political parties in Uganda to be in bondage. As the DP bloc, we are not fighting to lead the opposition. We are fighting to lead government. Because we were never created to be permanently in the opposition. We are confident of our capacity as a party. A party which is 65 years old, whose leader was slaughtered, but the party remained standing. How many parties in Uganda can survive if their leaders were to drop dead today? If the top leaders in these parties were to drop dead this very minute, do you think those parties will live beyond next week? The institutional resilience of the Democratic Party is incomparable. And that is why DP remains the most credible party in Uganda in terms of policy ideas, in terms of patriotism, love for the country. DP always puts Uganda first. We just don't say it. You can check our record. For the sake of Uganda, DP even cooperated with NRM in its early days. For the sake of Uganda, DP welcomed the former National Political Commissar of the NRM to be part of the broader struggle. For the sake of Uganda, DP even welcomed the Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi. For the sake of Uganda, in '96, DP traversed the country alongside its bitter rivals from UPC. Therefore, the evidence is there. But everybody who makes a verdict always makes a verdict that ignores the evidence that is there about DP's record. Verdicts must flow from evidence. But it seems in politics, verdict does not flow from evidence. People just erupt with a verdict irrespective of what the evidence says. We are very pleased that we have gathered over 80 people today to finalize the components of this very important plan which we are going to share. I believe other parties also have their plans. So over the next few weeks, be sure you are going to see high-level interactions, not the cheap shots that the media is excited about, but we are going to have high-level interactions, top leaders of the DP bloc meeting top leaders of FDC to discuss issues, not personalities. DP funds DP. DP has members, but I can tell you the core funding for this is from our partners. As you know, DP has been having partners since the 60s. Political foundations. They may not fund a political campaign, but they fund capacity building initiatives like this one. And among our partners, we count the Conservative Party of the UK, we count the Konrad Adenauer Foundation from Germany, we count the International Republican Institute, we count the Westminster Foundation for Democracy, which is based in UK, we count the National Democratic Institute, we count the iPod, which is supported by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy, and the Democratic Governance Facility through the iPod. Now, these are the same organizations that are also funding some of the other activities. You know, iPod member parties receive equal support. So I'm sure you are seeing on Twitter, you see there's a manifesto and policy workshop of UPC. You have seen the FDC also doing the same. So this is about supporting political parties to develop viable programs. There was a time when President Yoweri Museveni swore that he would never sit down with the LRA for talks. He swore by the name of his parents, both of them, that he would never talk to terrorists. But we insisted, we who were in the IDP camps, we who were running from gunfire, we whose children were not going to school, we said, we think the best strategy is talks. Didn't he talk? He went to Juba and signed that agreement. I sat in Juba. I went to the bush and met Joseph Kony, even embraced him. In politics and in life, never say never. I want you to understand that there's a lot of anger within some political parties because of problems. But the best step in solving problems is to take responsibility rather than blaming other people. In DP, we used to blame others for our problems. You know, it was good for Norbert Mao to call the press and rail at everybody. Until I sat down and I said, wait a minute, who is the president of DP? Why don't I take responsibility? And we have solved our problem of disunity. What we have are now, you know, rumblings in the sky, but there will be no rain. There will be no storm. We hear them on radio, little rumblings here and there. So, we also know that there are top leaders in FDC, and we are talking with them. In FDC, we have cordial relations with the president. We have cordial relations with the Colonel Dr Besigye, and those are the key drivers. We have cordial relations with the Honorable Nandala Mafabi. Sometimes spokespersons can derail a peace process. And our advice to all political parties, whether you agree with what DP is proposing or not, it is better to criticize it after understanding it. And that's why we have made their work easier. We are compiling this document as a discussion paper, and we will try to persuade them. We believe they can change their mind. We are going to try to be as persuasive as possible and not to annoy them. We are really, sometimes it is difficult not to be tempted to answer back because some of these people are extremely annoying and abusive even. But as the Bible says, for if the trumpet give forth an uncertain note, who will prepare himself to battle? You can't give too many messages. Therefore, we call upon all political parties to look at the suffering and misery of Ugandans. If that cannot unite us, then really nothing will unite us. For us, we are so discontented. Since 1961, we have been in this struggle. We are tired. We want victory. So, a party that is outraged by the situation in Uganda cannot say openly that they are opposed to unity. As a matter of fact, we received a message of congratulations from the people's government. We have received a message of congratulations from the president of FDC. We may not be sure of the result of this effort, but at least we can salute the effort. There are those who want to ridicule and diminish our effort and to misrepresent it. But we are determined to go forward because we have what it takes. The imperative of the moment is unity. And sooner or later, Ugandans are going to ignore those who are fighting unity. And we are in the best position to talk about unity. Because in 2011, We made a clear-cut decision and said we are not going to be part of any united front. We have since changed our mind. I'm sure other parties can also change their minds. If DP could do it, what about others? We are the party of truth and justice, and we intend to continue serving healthy doses of truth to the NRM and to everybody. We even serve it among each other. If you were in Makerere during the first reunion, you should have heard Dr. Besigye. Who didn't he attack? He started by attacking Buganda. He said, Buganda, you are a problem to this country. You are many, you are at the center, but you are confused. Then he descended on DP and said, DP, you have become a nuisance because of your lack of focus. That in fact there is a demon that seems to be, that there is some witch doctor who has bewitched DP. Then he descended on Colonel Besigye and he said, if a strategy is not working, why don't you change? You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you are not so apparently we in DP, rather than slapping him, because he was even within our range anyway, and we had enough UIDs to manhandle him if necessary, we cheered him because all he did was to put a mirror in front of our eyes. I want to assure you, nobody insulted anybody last Thursday. All that was done was to put a mirror. Sometimes you may have an image of yourself as you leave your house. But if somebody puts a mirror in front of you, then are you going to say, that's not me? We have been serving the truth by the spoonful. We are now going to serve it with spades. Therefore, speaking the truth is going to continue. And those who call speaking the truth insults definitely are not ready for democracy. I'm not afraid of being discussed. What we don't like is lies and blackmail. You have people who go around saying, Mao's wife works in State House. Total rubbish. Then they come to DP headquarters and said, we know we have been saying it, but you know, we are sorry. They know it is a lie. Then they come and say, you DP, you have sold your members to Museveni. Then they start counting. You sold your former national chairman to be deputy ambassador in India. You sold your candidate for woman MP Kampala, Florence Nachiwala, to become minister. Then when we say, okay, the prime minister of the people's government is married to Isaac Isanga Musumba. Is that a problem? DP is attacking us. Then you say, founder member of FDC, Kibanzanga, Christopher, is in the cabinet. What do you have to say about that? We are all prone to the poaching endeavors of Museveni. Now, when you use that to blackmail other parties, then it means you are not focused on removing Museveni. As president of the party, I don't have a rope on the necks of my members so that I pull them like goats. The other thing is relying on the past political figures that are very volatile to claim dominance. There used to be phone companies called Nokia and Ericsson. I doubt whether there's anybody here with an Ericsson phone. I swear there must be no Nokia phone here. So where did Nokia and Ericsson go? They were swept away by a new wave, even Alcatel, Motorola. Now, you can't start talking about your millions of votes and so on, as if, as Dr. Besigye says, as if votes are like cattle, which you lock in a kraal, and you unleash them on election day. DP, through the IPFC, had solid 1.7 million votes in 1996. Do we still talk about those votes? Surely those were our votes. They were Dr. Semogere's votes. But we believe as DP that those votes belong to the Ugandan people for the struggle. When Dr Besigye joined the struggle, his assignment was to build on those votes. When we complain that why are you rivaling the opposition in opposition strongholds, go and win new seats, then they say DP is too aggressive. As DP, we are on record. We went to Bukoto East and deleted NRM from there. We went to Chotera and deleted NRM from there. We went to Kalungu and deleted. We are winning new ground. To me, if we are to be serious as opposition, we must take the battle to NRM territories. It is painful when you come and inherit seats in Kampala, which were for DP, and you thump your chest that you are a power. That does not, in the broad scheme of things, help. Therefore, that kind of truth will continue to be spoken, and I don't think it is healthy to demand an apology for that. If there are really things for which an apology is required, good manners and civility would dictate that we apologize. Actually, DP is a party of very civil people, and we normally apologize without being prompted. We go into elections because we trust the Ugandan people. And I think as of now, the Ugandan people are more determined than ever. This campaign of voter registration has now compelled the state to start making it difficult for young people to get voters' cards. When people used to go to register, they were not asked to bring copies of national IDs of their parents and to pay. But now they are being asked to pay. So, where there is a will, there is a way. We don't expect Yoweri Museveni to give us a red carpet to power. But as part of this retreat, we have a series of activities that are planned to demand reforms in the law. And those activities will include street protests, to include petitions, but we have petitioned enough. Actually, DP has petitioned